Thank you for pointing out that I was that I was on mute. Shall we start again? Good morning, everybody. My name is Robbie from Major League Hacking. I'm super excited to be here. This is going to be my last session actually for Local Hack Day Share, and it's a non-technical session. So we're going to focus more on creating a brand using Canva rather than getting hands-on with some code. It is currently 6:30 a.m. in the morning, so if I forget to unmute myself, that's because I'm a little bit tired. So please cut me some slack. Give me something in the chat to keep me excited and awake. Not that it's not exciting vibing with you folks, but you know, more stuff is always good. Now I'm going to switch over to Canva here, and we're going to build out a brand for a Major League Hacking themed group. Give me just a second here while I fiddle with my lighting. It's not particularly great. So that's some yellow. That looks a bit better. Okay, so Electric Hamster makes a very good point. You can get Canva Pro. You're jumping the gun here. It's exactly what I was going to show on stream. If I add my screen to stream, you can head to hackp.ac/GitHub. Do I actually have that as a banner? Dun dun dun. Stand by. Please stand by. So if you go to hackp.ac/GitHub, it will take you to the GitHub Student Developer Pack. Once you go to this pack, you can actually go and find Canva. And if I click Get Your Pack, you can get 12 months of Canva's Pro tier. Now, I have sadly already used up my 12-month allowance, but do not worry. I am, in fact, going to I set myself up with a 30-day free trial after that. So we can all use Canva's Pro tier, and if you're not a student and you don't have access to the Pro tier, there is still a 30-day free trial as well. And indeed, Canva has a free plan, so you've got plenty of options. Don't worry about not being able to take part. Now, my regular viewers from the past couple of days will know that I've recently been building out the Major League brand. We've built out Major League Banking with a lovely banking app. Just displays your transactions. And we've also done Major League Forecasting to show the weather forecast. So now that we've got Major League Banking, Major League Forecasting, and of course Major League Hacking, the company, I think it's time to put this all under one corporate group, and I'm going to call it Major League Dominating, because we're just dominating the globe with all these different areas that our company is going into. So we're going to build a brand for. I can probably put it in big text on the screen. If I go to robbie.dev/TV, Major League Dominating. This is what we're going to build our brand for. Using Canva, it's got a bunch of cool features for the brand kit. You can set up a logo, you can set some brand colors in your palette, and indeed some fonts and things as well. But before we get much further, we have to go and check in for this session. The URL is scrolling across the bottom of this video right now. It is hackpack/hackwithrobbie. Hack with Robbie, and I'm also going to put that link in the chat for those of you who do not type. Hack with Robbie. And it brings us to this page, and we've got to click on register and check in. You may have already registered. It's important that you come and check in as well. It has to say you are checked in. This is how we track how many people come to these sessions and how we know which sessions people are excited about, which ones people think are not quite as exciting, and all that good stuff. So now that we've checked in, we can jump back to some Canva stuff. We close that, close the dev pack, close this one. And I'm here in Canva, and if you go to just home, it brings you to this page, and then on the left, you've got an option for brand kit. So this is where we're going to set up our brand for Major League Dominating. I think a good place to start, actually, rather than the logo, is probably with the colors, because the colors are really important to a brand. And kind of a good rule of thumb is you want 3 or a maximum of 3 colors for your brand, right? You don't want a page that's got loads and loads of different colors on. Looks like Canva's brand is based around this kind of teal and purple, which works pretty well. Now, Major League Dominating is going to be based on the Major League Hacking brand. So they've thankfully done some of the hard work for us already. Let me put this one on the left here, fire up another window. If I Google MLH brand guidelines, it's going to bring up the brand guidelines for Major League Hacking, where you can grab our logo. Apparently, we've got the old logo on the style guide, but this is our new logo. Let me just click on, let's go for SVG for this logo. And the reason is I can then easily grab this red, blue, and yellow and add those as my brand colors. So I'm here in Canva. I'm on the brand colors. We're going to give this a name, and we're going to call this primary colors, because that's actually what they are, red, blue, and yellow. We'll click on plus. And we need to choose our first color. So let's grab this red. Now, because I went to the SVG for this picture, I can actually right-click and go inspect element and grab each element from, let me just put that on the bottom, and grab each element from the image. And you can see here, like, this is the path for that M. But I can actually go ahead and, let me just grab that color and put it in here. I could, go ahead and change this to something else I like. This looks so weird, Let's just reload that back to normal. We've added our red. Let's go and add the blue as well. So that's this one. And then we want the yellow. That's this one. And we should probably go ahead and, I think this is not actually perfect black. This is like a very dark gray. Yeah. So you can see here it's a 242425. And paste this one in as well. Now, these hex color codes are really kind of important to the way that brands work, and indeed just the way we represent color within computers. Google, if you've not come across it before, has a great color picker. So if you just go to Google and search for color picker, US or UK spelling of color, both of them are totally fine. It brings up this wonderful interface. It's just a standard color picker, right? You've seen this before. But across the bottom, we've got all this useful information about the color. So we've got RGB, and that's showing 175.235.35, and we've got the hex color code. These are the two ones that you probably see the most. And RGB stands for red, green, blue. So this is referring to the color model we use to represent the colors. You've got CMYK as well. That stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and key black. CMYK is used when you're printing something. So if you have a printer at home, I'm not sure that many people do these days, your printer does not have red, green, and blue ink. It's got cyan ink, magenta ink, yellow ink, and black ink. So that's how we represent color when we're printing, because those colors are essentially, we call them subtractive colors. So as you put more colors, more ink on the page, you kind of decrease the overall brightness of the color, so you're subtracting from it. Whereas with RGB, when you add more color to it, you brighten it, right? When you put all the colors together, you get white. You've also got HSV and HSL. These are pretty similar. It stands for hue, saturation, and value. When hue, saturation, and lightness, I think it is. Essentially, you've got the hue is this slider. Saturation is kind of how far it is. So this would be 0% saturation, which is gray. And then going all the way through to like a really strong blue is 100% of saturation. And then, of course, your V or your brightness is just kind of this one, up and down. So again, I always find color models really interesting. It's just a little aside for you. But we can talk a bit more about how this hex code is formatted, because this local hack day is about sharing knowledge. So the hex codes are, I wonder if I can find a breakdown somewhere. Maybe this will have it. A hex code converter? How am I doing? Okay, let's have a look at this. RGB to hex. Right, so the way your hex converter works is that you've got your... Too many screen too. Let's fire up my thing here. We'll go, so let's say our color is FA073D, right? It's broken down into 3 groups. The hash at the beginning just says that this is like a hex code color. Then you've got FA. So these first 2 characters correspond to the red value. The second 2 characters correspond to the green value. And the third 2 characters correspond to the blue value. Each of these symbols, is a number in hexadecimal, so base 16. So we use the digits 0 through 9, and then A, B, C, D, E, F as well. So FA will actually convert to, we can work it out, fire up my console. FA. So the way you can actually read this, like And this is almost a maths lesson at this point, but you know when you've got numbers in the way we count them, you might have the number 133. This means you've got 3 units, you've got 3 tens and 1 hundreds, right? So it's 100 plus 30 plus 3. Or it's 1 times 100 plus 3 times 10 plus 3 times 1. And you see these numbers are kind of our base, 100, 10, and 1. And these are actually powers of 10. So this is 10 to the power of 0. This is 10 to the power of 1. And this is 10 to the power of 2. Now, I know I'm getting pretty mathsy at this point. If I'm losing you, don't worry about it. This is just for interest to those of you who want to know. But the way we do it in hexadecimal is rather than using 10 as our base, we use 16 as our base. So we had FA. FA would be F times 16 to the power of 1 plus A times 16 to the power of 0. Now, you're probably thinking, what on earth are F and A? Well, because we're counting in base 16, we actually count up beyond 9 in single digits. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. And then the next number after this, if you view this as a sequence on a number line, it's going to be 1, 0, 1, 1. So these are not 10 and 11. This actually corresponds to 16 and 17, all the way through to, we've got 1, 8, 1, 9. But we don't go 2, 0. Now we've got 1, A, 1, B, C, 1, D, 1, E, 1, F, and then 2, 0, and so on like that. So what I'm getting at here is that we're not counting in base 10, we're counting in base 16. Base 16 is used within computers because it converts very nicely into binary, and it's a great way of kind of representing this stuff shorthand. You can represent a long number with a lot fewer digits when you're doing it in base 16. So when we're saying F times 16 to the power of 1 and A times 16 to the power of 0, well, F just corresponds to the base 10 number 15, right? If we look at our thing, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A is going to be base 10 of 10. B is base 10 of 11. C is base 10 of 12. D is base 10 of 13. E is base 10 of 14. And F is base 10 of 15. So this is actually 15. And A, we said, was the one after 9, so it's 10. Now what we've got to do is evaluate our powers. 16 to the power of 0, well, anything to the power of 0 is 1. And 16 to the power of 1 is obviously just 1. So we've got 15 times 16 plus 10 times 1. If I do that here in a calculator, we get 250. So this equals 250. When we had our color originally, I can't remember what it was, FA, something like 0D3A or whatever. This first 2 digits is 250. And so if we actually grab this and go to, where's my converter? RGB to hex. I want the other way around. I want hex to RGB. And I paste this one in. I click convert to RGB. We're going to see that first number is indeed 250. And you can go through and work out the rest as well. So 0D, it's just going to be 0 times 16 to the 1 plus, what is it, D times 15. 16 to the 0, sorry. I cannot type today. 16 to the 0. And D is going to be, well, A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, so D is 13. 16 to the 1 is a 16, 16 to the 0 is just a 1. So we've got 0 times 16 plus 13 times 1. So that is in fact just 13, which is what we've got here. So this is how we convert between them. This hex code is actually just RGB, just written in a shorter way. And RGB is a bit more readable because you can see that this is a lot of red, a tiny bit of green, and a little bit of blue. And the range here is between 0 and 255. Or if you're writing that in hex, you go from 0, 0 up to FF. So 0, 0 is obviously just 0. FF, well, it's F times 16 to the 1 plus F times 16 to the 0, which is just F times 16 plus F times 1. F is 15. If I do 15 times 16 plus 15 times 1, that's 255. because that's the full range you can represent with kind of two digits in hexadecimal. It's 2 to the power of 8. So it's 00 is your first digit, first number, 255 is your last digit, so the full range is 256. I hope you learned something today. That is how these colors work. Now, if you become kind of a super nerd, you can get to the point where you can look at a color like ED9903, and I can tell you that this is going to be mostly red, and there's a lot of green, so it's going to be more of like an orangey yellow. 03 is very little for blue, so I can actually grab this, put it into hex code, and what have we got? Look at that, a nice orange. Isn't that exactly what I said? And you can see that's the case because ED is the highest number here, so it's got the most red. 99 is like a good strong amount of blue, and then 03, green, and then 03 is basically 0, no blue at all. That's how hex codes work. Now, let's jump back to what we were actually building. I'd love to see a few people here saying, I finally know how that works. Yeah, I get the impression you've just been using like hex codes for a long time, just kind of hoping for the best and just no idea what they represent. But yeah, they represent this RGB thing. Really, really cool. Okay, let me clean up my monitor here. I've got way too much going on. I got a little bit excited by all the all the maths. So we've added our red, blue, yellow, and this dark gray to Canva. Let's also set up some brand fonts while we're here. Heading style, subheading style, and a body style. Now, I know that MLH, certainly in the internal documents, has been kind of changing their fonts a little bit. So we'll go ahead and follow along with that. Let's click on add a heading style, choose a font. I don't know where these fonts are coming from, so I don't know if it's going to have the fonts that we want. But I wonder if I search for Poppins, is that an option? Ah, perfect. So Poppins Bold is what MLH has been using for a lot of things recently. Subheadings, there is another one. I can't remember what it is. Is it like Space Mono or something? Let's go with Space Mono for now. And then body style, MLH goes with the classic Open Sans. Now, if you're a law firm, you know, you might want to go with like Times New Roman, which is no longer even available, right? That's it. So let's go for Open Sans. We've got our heading, got a subheading, and the body. I'd quite like to make this subheading bold. Is there an easy way to do that? Oh, there we go. Cool. So set up our brand colors, set up our brand fonts. I guess now is the time to create our logo. So, of course, the existing logo is Major League Hacking, or MLH. We're going to go with Major League Dominating and just see how we get on building out that logo. So I'm going to make a new... that's to upload a logo. Do I have to make a logo somewhere else? Templates. Business logo. Let's try making that here in Canva. Wow, there's a bunch of options here. Let's just start with a blank logo and build it up. So Canva is an awesome kind of web development. It's an awesome kind of graphic design tool, kind of in the vein of Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, but it all runs in the browser, which is really awesome if you're on a machine and you don't have the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. And it comes with a bunch of templates and stuff as well. I think some of this is only available for the Pro, but kind of the general editor is certainly available to everybody. Which is brilliant. So we're going to build out our logo. I think let's just go with the text. Pool Party Rodeo. Now I know that the font that MLH uses is called Outage for their logo, but I'm not sure if we're actually going to find that because it's a font that you've got to pay for. It's like one you need to license. So we're just going to go with an alternative one here. I'm thinking... something that says dominating, you know, like feeling cute is probably not the vibe we want for dominating. And I'm going to go for it for that exact reason. So let's grab this, and instead of feeling cute, we'll say major. And I'll type the word major. This is a bit confusing. What's going on here? Let's just delete that whole thing and then just put some plain text in. I literally just want normal text. How do I do it? All right, let's just put body text in. We'll go MLH. We'll set the font to, let's say, Poppins Bold. Or what was that one called? Feeling Cute. Name of the font? Definitely not the name of the font. You got so many crazy options here. Let's go with Chewy. Ah, this is beautiful. We'll whack up this size. Let's try like 120. This is the MLH logo. I'm gonna put this up here, and you see how powerful this is, right? It's got all these different snapping tools and things. So we've got MLH, and then let's change our colors. So instead of just the red, this is going to be our primary color, red. Middle one is, I want to say blue. I'm hoping I'm getting this in the right order. And this one is yellow. But I need to actually go and double check that. I mean, it looks right. Yeah, here it is. It's red, blue, yellow. Okay, it's like a flag, right? Like you try to remember the colors, order of the colors in a flag, and you never get it right, and you end up getting the flag some random country. Oh, man. So we got MLH, and then just want some another text underneath it. Ooh, got two of them. Oh, we're not going with H though, are we? We're going with D for dominating. Major League Dominating is, of course, the name of our brand. So let me get the body text, and we'll type in it. Major League Dominating. We'll set the color to the dark gray, and then we need to choose a font, something that is kind of also equally dumb. Maybe Coney Black, that could be the one. Yes, I think this is the vibe we're going for. Let me go ahead and center align this, and then bump up the font size a bit. I actually think we're pretty close now to what we want. Let me move this one up. So we've got here, this is MLD. This is our brand, our logo, and then I guess I need to trim the page as well, so we don't have all this white space around it. Work out how to do that here within Canva. There's background, but I don't want to set a background. If anything, I want a transparent background. Like page options or something. Home, no, file. Here it is. So I just wonder if there's a way we can trim it to the exact size of the logo. Come on. Oh, you see this big resize button in the corner? Oh, man. Let's just kind of guess randomly what we're going to go for. How wide is this? I've got a ruler somewhere, right? Rulers. So this is, does it tell me up here? If I put this up in the corner, this is 200 and there's definitely a way to get the exact value, but I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks like about 200 and that's 275, 280, 285. And then height-wise, we're looking at about 191, 192. So if we go resize, we said 285 by 192. Is that right? Copy and resize. Oh gosh, copied onto a new page. I feel like we're on the right lines, but this is definitely kind of larger than I expected it to be. Was it not pixels, these units? Was it like millimeters or something wild? If I just grab the whole thing and scale it up, this might actually work. Ooh. Okay, I think that is close enough. I'm a bit interested to see that that's a tiny bit fuzzy. I guess that's something to do with the font. We might have to choose a different font instead of Chewy, which is really sad. Let's search for cute and see what else we've got here. Balloon skirt. This is pretty similar. Le Petit Cochon. Also coming through as pixely though. Like, how about if I choose something normal like Open Sans? Does it come through as pixel? No. Pixely? Yes. Well, now I'm confused. We don't want any effects, like neon or glitch effect. And that's not even Open Sans, is it? Let's just delete that one and just put some text in again. It's not particularly complicated text. So we go for MLD. What was that original font we had? I really liked it. It was Chewy, was it? Is that what it's called? Chewy, okay. And if we jack up the size to, we're going to need, okay, maybe not that big. 120 perhaps. That's getting pixely. But do you see that get pixely at 120? I'm so confused. But then it's sharp above it. Let's just assume it's going to be fine and see how we get on. We'll move this up to here, something like that, so it's center aligned. Set our colors on it again. So the M is going to be Major League Red, the L is the Major League Blue, the D is Major League Yellow. It's a little pixely, but I think we can get away with that for now. I can actually go ahead and just like delete this one if I can figure out how to do that. File. Let's just say old logo. And then here, we'll go ahead and we'll do file and call it main logo. Okay, so we've built our logo for MLD, Major League Dominating. Let's close that one and close that one. So we've done our colors, fonts, logo. Now, if you've attended previous local hack days in the past, whether that's local hack day build or local hack day learn, you may have received in the post something that looks like this. Can you see that? So it's a little postcard for local hack day build. It's got some nice thank you message on it, and on the back we've got just like a little postcard as well. This comes with your local hack day swag, you know, stickers and all of that good stuff. I think we can recreate this for local, what should we call it? MLD's local domination day. Instead of build, we'll just call dominate. So the brand for our event, I'm thinking, is going to be major. We'll do MLD local dominate day domination. Nice. This just sounds like Terminator or something crazy like that. If you want to see what I'm using for like a whiteboard here, it's actually a custom tool I built. Really, really simple. If you head to robbie.dev, so that is my personal website, and robbie.dev/TV, like television, will bring you up with this page, and you can just type in it and zoom out to make the text smaller. That's really it. But the nice thing about the way this works is that it also encodes this text in the URL as base64. So if I put hello hackers, then I copy that URL, open a new tab, paste it in, got header hackers. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and stick that link in the chat as well for those of you who would like to see that. I think I even have it on my GitHub profile somewhere. One of my repositories. Let's just search for TV. Here it is, large whiteboard style way of displaying text. There's really not much to it. It's just an HTML index HTML file with some styles, tiny bit of JavaScript to say, you know, there's some stuff to show whether it's empty or not, which is how you get that. This gray background when it's empty. And then there's some stuff here about load from the hash the string, and when it changes, update the hash. That's it. So you could host this on GitHub pages or something like that if you wanted to. So we're going to make a postcard for MLD Local Dominate Day Domination. So if I head to Canva, I mean, Canva's great because it's got so many templates. We've got social media stuff, so we could potentially make some Instagram posts or Facebook covers or LinkedIn banner or whatever. Personal has got this postcard option, so we might use that. Business has got presentation, website, logo, business card, invoice, business letterhead. Some of these are more exciting than others. I personally would love to spend like 2 hours on live stream designing an invoice, but I realize that might not be the most exciting thing for all of you. Same for the business letterhead. And then we got, you know, poster, flyer, infographic. And the reason Canvas is good for this is because it has so much stuff already on it in terms of designs and ideas to get you started. If you ever open up like Microsoft Publisher or something like that, which definitely feels like a throwback to primary school, to be honest, then that's going to, you know, just present you with a blank page. And it's really hard to get started when you just have a blank page. Some stuff in education here, certificates and whatnot, and a YouTube intro as well. So I think, you know, we'll just kind of make stuff depending how we see how we get on with time. But like I said, let's make that postcard. So I think the personal postcard is probably the way to go. Okay, so we're making a postcard, and it's kind of based on this one, right? The one that we want to make. So let's grab something that looks vaguely similar. This could kind of work. Obviously, we take out the happy birthday branding. The heart stuff. I mean, some of this seems a little bit too sincere. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you with love. Thank you for attending local Dominate Day. This is an option. This looks pretty good. I think let's go ahead with this one and then just build it out from there. So we'll click on this, and postcards have a pretty standard size. They're 148 by 105 millimeters. And I think, but I could be wrong, I think that is the same size as A6. Yes. So A6 is a paper size used across a lot of the world, kind of uses this A series for defining paper sizes. The US notably does not use the A series paper. It uses like legal and letter and all these random ones. The A series makes much more sense. So A2 is kind of your standard. A4 is kind of your standard piece of paper like this. And the nice thing is every time you go up a number, it actually halves that piece of paper, but it keeps the same ratio. So you can take an A3 document and print it on A4 just by scaling it down to 50%, and it will fit exactly. And the A series of paper is the only one to have this property because the ratio of one side to the other is 1 by the square root of 2. And you can show that with a bunch of cool maths as well. So we're doing A6, which is 105 by 148. That is exactly the same ratio as A4. It just happens to be a quarter of the size. Let's use this template here in Canva. Okay, so we've got the outside, and then page 2 is the other side. And there's an inside, apparently. I'm not sure how a postcard has 3 sides. Let's get rid of... Can we get rid of a side somehow? Oops. Let's put that one back to that. And go back. There we go. We can just delete this page because we don't need it. So our postcard has 2 sides, right? The front and the back. The front, we've got... So we've got a logo in the top left, MLH Local Hack Day, and then some text, and then a picture, and it says build as well. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to rest that one there for my reference and start building it out. So we've gone with, in terms of color schemes, rather than this yellow, we could go for Dominate. I think it needs a good strong black, you know, go for a really dark one. And then instead of saying thank you, we'll just go with, first let's delete some of this stuff that we don't need. Delete that as well. Same here. Ooh, held the wrong button there. Delete. This is kind of cute. I might just hang on to this for now. I tried invert mouse scroll windows. Can't fix it back. So the reason this one exists, and this again, total aside, let me bring that one up for those of you who want to see it. I think, is it just, what is it called? Is it just not just called mouse or something like that? Yeah, invert mouse scroll. Okay, invert mouse scroll windows. Yeah, it's a PowerShell script for inverting the scroll direction on Windows. So I, for a long time, I used an iMac, and I used it with like a standalone mouse, right, rather than just a trackpad or something. And on Mac, the scroll direction is inverted, or as Apple likes to call it, it's natural. And after so long of using that, that actually feels like the correct way for me to do it. And indeed, I'm on a Mac most of the time. But every now and then I find myself on a Windows machine and I need to, and the scrolling like always messes with my head when it's kind of Windows scrolling. So I had to figure out a way to invert it, and a lot of research led me to a certain command you can run here. Now, if I actually open this, I'm hosting this at robbie.dev/mouse. And when it loads, it's just this simple page. You copy it, you highlight it and copy it and paste it into an elevated PowerShell window. So as an administrator, obviously you would not run this on a Mac because you don't have PowerShell on the Mac. Yeah, this will just invert your mouse scrolling. So to get it back, I guess you can set this to 1, set this to 0. I mean, good luck with it. Let us know how you get on. Okay, close. Getting so distracted. So instead of thank you, we're just going to have local an image rather than text. It's got to be text, yeah. Local dominate day dominate. I think we might need to decrease the font size a little bit. Let's just try 48. Okay, this is close to what we want. Bump this up. Specifically, I need this to start here. Local dominate day. We'll put date. It should be local dominate day dominate. Okay, so this is looking close to what we want, but I think we need to change some of these colors. So there's this pink going on here. The pink we're going to set to MLH red. Text, I think we can actually go ahead and set to MLH yellow. This actually is surprisingly close to something that I would want. I'm not sure what this graphic is, but I don't have any of the LED electric elephant graphics. Sadly, I don't have any of those, so we're just going to leave the default graphic in here. And then we need some text, so I can go and just grab text. I literally just want a block of body text. And we're going to say, thank you so much for joining us at Local Dominate Day Dominate 2021. This year's event was, I'm literally just copying off the postcard, beyond our expectations, blah, blah, blah. Now, often what designers do if you don't actually have the copy or the actual text you want to include is you might have some lorem ipsum text. Lorem ipsum is literally kind of dummy text. It's just random words that don't actually mean anything. And if you Google lorem ipsum generator, you'll come up with kind of the classic website about it. So it's going to bring up this site, and it's telling us all about what is lorem ipsum. Well, it's simply dummy text of the printing and typesetting industry. So the industry standard since the 1500s. I mean, that is a long, long time ago, right? And it's awesome because, it's a bunch of stuff here, right? It tells you why it's important. It's based on classical Latin literature, apparently. It's not like actual Latin. It's just random text. But the idea is it kind of looks like English, and it kind of looks like normal text in terms of the lengths of words and the characters you see and stuff. So we can actually generate some here. And if I hit generate lorem ipsum, it just gives us random text. So I can just copy this, head back to Canva. And actually, let's just put it here. Obviously, we don't need all of that. So I'm just going to grab, for example, maybe that. Carry that sentence. Yeah, and let me just fix the layout here as well. So let's do that. I think this is actually still too long. I'm just going to bin off this last couple of sentences. And obviously, we're going to go for a left align to make this look better. So we're making some good progress. It looks like they've got some kind of background and border around the text as well. So I'll just put that on here. If I insert and so this is going to be an element, I think, and then just a shape. We'll just do a rectangle. Put it like, let's just say like that. And we'll make the background on this one white. Do we want to go with the perfect white? Yeah, I think so. And we'll do send to back. Our text is now not visible. So we'll set our text color to that gray. Put it on. That's font size 11. I'm just going to delete one of these words just to make it fit. Right, this is the great thing about lorem ipsum is you can just put random stuff in it. And I would like to get a border of some kind on this element. Can we do that somehow? Colors. I'm just going to right click on it. It's copy style, transparency, link, position. But I want what's called, it's often called a stroke, a border. Styles. Okay. Frames. Is that what we want instead of shapes? No, that's still not quite right. charts. I mean, look at there's a whole coronavirus section and foliage and stuff. Oh, I think actually one of these might be better. This looks great. Let's do that instead. So I'm looking at the one that's got a shadow of some kind anyway. So put this in here, make it wider. I think we can actually pull that down a tiny bit and just send it to the back, just so the flower comes on top. Yeah, that looks good. Apparently we've got 3 colors here. So it looks like we've got one for this main background, we've got one for the outline, and then one for the shadow as well. So let's set the main background to white. And I think we can honestly just set our shadow to black the whole way through. Or certainly this dark gray. Actually, that's a really dumb decision because the background is also dark gray. Let's make it kind of actual black. See if that looks any different. It might be the colors are too similar. No, that actually looks good. That pops a lot. In the same way, we've got a black border here and a black border here. All I need to do now is pull the text in a bit so it's not quite as close to the edges. Bring this in as well. And I'm just going to bin off some of these words that we don't need. Lastly, let's make this match the boldness. So we'll put some bold on here. And let's put it on here as well for local dominate day. Of course, we could use another font. We might not use Open Sans. We might actually want to go with something a bit more like Space Mono. Oh, God. Poppins bold. This is kind of on the right lines. But I preferred it the way it was, to be honest. Let's go back to Open Sans. Brilliant. I think we can also do something here with the word dominate to make sure this really pops. And instead of the yellow, we can probably go for, what do you think? Blue? How visible is that? It's a bit dark, but I think we can actually get away with it because it's local dominate day. Dominate. So this is our front page, and then of course the back of this postcard is much more generic. It just says like build January 2021 with some graphics on. So on this one, let's delete basically everything on this page. We'll keep the background as, let's go for the blue because that's kind of our dominate theme. Sorry, this blue is the one we want. And then we'll put on our is there a difference between this and this? I don't think so. Let's put this on, and then in our colors, we're going to set the background to white, and our border and stuff is going to be that hard black, just because that really pops. We'll do a bit more shaped like that. Make sure it's centered. Put some text in the middle. And I would like to use whatever this font was, Costa Rica. So I'll just put some text on. Dominate. Costa Rica. Let's jack this up to, what do you think, 36? I think we can go bigger. 42. I think that's good. So we'll put dominate here, and then beneath it, I'm actually going to put the time of doing it. So for me, and indeed for everybody, it is 2021. 2021 is April. It's the 1st of April. So for the 1st of April, we're going to say April Fool's Day 2021. April Fool's Day it is. And that can be maybe 18. It's a pretty good guess. Together, we can do that, which will center align those kind of relatively. Then what else have we got on the graphic? Well, I'm looking here just to see how else we can add stuff to it. In the top right, we've got a little text again, and then some graphics and lines and things. So we can just emulate that simply. So we're going to have, I'll just do some more text. And this is going to say MLD local dominate day. I think, you know what, I think we can actually make this kind of a heading rather than this. Can we go for that font? That's going to look better, isn't it? Local dominate day. That looks much better. Delete that one. Put this one up in the corner. And of course, set the font size to something smaller. 16. It's pretty close. We'll do that. Put that up. Kind of here. I'm going to right align it as well. Color, we'll go for, what do you think? White? Yellow? Or even black? The red definitely doesn't work. Blue, obviously not going to work. The yellow kind of works. That's almost too difficult to read because you need a proper black. I think let's go with the white, to be honest. Let's have a check and see how things are going on the Twitch. You thought lorem ipsum is something written in some other language. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Latin and it looks like English, but it is in fact just kind of meaningless. You'll read all about it on here. Tells you loads of good stuff. Hello, SuchiGirl13. How to edit the default text. I have to confess I'm not entirely sure what you mean by default text. If you mean the text that comes through here, you can just kind of double click on it to bring up the text editor. Which template we are using? Yellow, vivid, bold. Thank you for your business. Folded card. So that is this one. Yellow, vivid, bold. So it's just under. So we went to templates, and then under personal we went postcard. And then this is the one we picked. But like I say, you can just pick anything and build it out, you know. I think we need to rename this as well. And go local dominate day. It's going to be abbreviated to LDD. I want to say postcard. You know, maybe we should set this to white rather than blue. Should we see how that looks? Yes, now that really pops. I think that's good. And it also keeps the number of colors we're using reduced, right? Like our key colors on this page, we've got the white and the yellow and the red. And like everything else is kind of related to those. And the black doesn't really count because it's, you know, not that much of a color. Waited so much for this event. Awesome to see. Awesome to see. We are rebranding Major League Hacking to Major League Dominating. I got so scared when I first put in the text because I'd never seen lorem ipsum before. Scared me even more when I made the text bigger and more words were there. Yeah, I can totally relate to that, right? Like lorem ipsum is text that's there to show you what some text would look like. If you consider the actual process at a company of how you might build this stuff out, you know, you don't have the same person who sits down and does the graphic design is probably not the same as the person who works in marketing and produces the actual text. So the person who works in design is just going to have some lorem ipsum text as placeholder just to see what some text will look like. And then when they get the actual text, they can just slot that in. Brilliant. This looks good, but a little bit bare in the background. Now, the good thing is that this comes with a bunch of... Canva comes with a bunch of little graphics and things. There's some stickers. I certainly don't need anything animated because this is going to be printed out. We could just grab some random things. Simple drawn objects. Camping rustic drawing. Flowers. Hand-drawn animals. Hand-drawn love. Organic rainbows. Sketch fruit. Let's go with a fruit theme. Let's put this one on. Nice. We'll put the fruit there, and then we'll grab the... I don't even know what that one is. 25 pieces of sketched fruit. Let's grab the pineapple. Put this one down here. Then we can grab a... It's so hard to choose. I think grapes. Oh, it might be a bit difficult to see the grapes. Oh, no, that actually works really well in terms of the blue. We'll put that one here. Let's move that like that. Interestingly enough, and I swear this is just coincidence, there's actually already fruit on here. There's a pineapple and is it a pear, I think, at the bottom. So, and I think there's a juice box in the top right. Let's skip the juice box. But yeah, that's interesting. Maybe MLH used Canva to build this. Who knows? Let's just see what this looks like as well if we bring the dominate text to the front. So I'm going to group those. And then on the front, so we've got that. If I undo, we've got that. I think this pops a little bit more. It's a bit bolder. This one, I feel like it's a bit cluttered with the fruit coming in. So we'll just go with it on top. And now we've got our postcard looking pretty good. We've got our kind of our front, if you want to call it. And then this is the message inside. This is definitely a little more cluttered inside, but I think we can let that slide. I'm happy to go with this as is for now. Canva, if you ever actually want to get postcards printed, they offer a printing service. So if you click on print postcards, choose a size A6 double-sided. This is what our postcards are actually going to look like, which is so cool to see. And you can just pay for it. Like for 50 copies here, I'm paying £24.50. 49 pence per copy. 49 pence is, I don't know, 60 cents, 65 US cents, something like that. So that's how you can do it. We can also go and download that in a bunch of formats. PDF is a common one. You could go for SVG as well. Generally, you want to avoid using a PNG or a JPEG for this kind of stuff. And the reason is if you keep it as a PDF or an SVG, you got these like vector graphics. And if it's a vector graphic, it means you can scale it up kind of infinitely and you don't lose any quality. So when you take a normal picture and you scale it up, it just gets like pixelated. That's no good when you're trying to print stuff, particularly because when you print, it needs to be a really high resolution, usually like 300 dpi or so, compared to your computer screen. So even if it looks okay on your computer screen, when it's actually printed on paper, it can look a bit rubbish. I've just seen something, and that's caught my eye. Let's just search for the word January. This is how January is spelt. It's U-A, right? Let's zoom in, make that super clear. It's January. If we look at this local Hack Day build postcard, which I presume, tens of thousands of people received in the post, look at the spelling of January there on the bottom. Does that say Jan, like Jan-A-U? I think that does. I think there's somebody made a typo here. And it was not caught, and then MLH printed out tens of thousands of these postcards and shipped them all over the world, and now forevermore we've got these typoed postcards in existence. That is actually amazing. I feel like I should tell someone about that at MLH, but let's be real, it's way too late. The event was in January, and we've shipped. I'm pretty certain everything's been shipped out now, so oh man, but I will mention it. That is quite a funny one. Jeez. Okay, so we've got our postcard. We made our logo. What else can we make that looks cool? Let's go back and look for the ideas. We'll go to templates. So we've got presentation, website. We could do logo, business card. I'm thinking is a good one. I'd love a Major League dominating business card. Invoices and things. Again, we'll save that one for another day, much as I'd love to do it. Certificate could be a cool one as well. I took part in Major League Dominate Day. Dominate. Let's go for the business card. Oh, look at all these options. Already I'm looking at this one and seeing that this might be the one I want to go for. There's a lot of like hairstyles and things, catering, events and parties organizer. I mean, I guess this is kind of me, right? Like hackathons are events, and I've certainly organized a fair few parties in my time before the apocalypse anyway. This is not really on brand for us. This is like the most generic business card of all time. Wow, portrait business cards. They were very popular in like 2012, I think. Let me go for, I'm going to go with this one. Best computer solutions for you. And then there's some stuff on the back. Obviously, we're going to rebrand this, but... So this one is the navy blue yellow technology funny business card, apparently. I'm not sure why it's funny, but we'll see. Maybe it's this is the funny bit. The pun at the center of this card will instantly make your client relax in your present. Nice. Okay, so we've got page 1 and page 2, and of course business cards are two-sided. And actually something worth thinking about here is like the dimensions. So this is 3.5 by 2 inches. I don't know if business cards have a standard dimension. I presume it's about that size. Standard business card is 3.5 by 2 inches. Give or take a whisker or two. The idea is it should match the dimensions of a credit card or driving license and be able to slip neatly into a wallet or purse. Okay, so 3.5 by 2 inches it is. Let's set up some of our colors here. So if I click that background, we're going to go with, we can either go with the dark black or we can go with the strong blue. I'm thinking we could have strong blue one side and then possibly black or even another one the other side. Now these lines are honestly kind of interesting, but I'm not really liking this kind of faded yellow look. There must be some low opacity on this or something, right? Because if that yellow is clearly not the same as this yellow we're seeing here. If I pick like green or something, yeah. Actually, that green looks better than the yellow, to be honest. Or, you know what works well with any color? No color. Black. So if I grab this whole group, can I just do that to select them all? Or like that. Multi-select. Are we going to have to do these one by one? All right, fine. I'm a machine. Let's go through and get it done. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, 3 at once there. Very exciting. This is the kind of high quality content you came for, right? Join the Major League dominating Twitch to see me click on things one by one and change the color. Oh, man. You know, when I don't have access to Canva, in terms of graphic design, I actually quite like PowerPoint. Like Microsoft PowerPoint is reasonably good. It's got some good shapes tools and things. And Google Slides is kind of an option as well, but PowerPoint is actually surprisingly surprisingly powerful because you can export as a PNG from PowerPoint and a PDF as well. Okay, Portal Tech Code. Now let's go ahead and update this text. Obviously, we're not going with Norwester. We're going with whatever our top level font was, which is Poppins Bold. And what am I going to put on this business card? Do I want to go with the Dominate brand or I want to go with the Robbie brand? This is a really tricky one. Let's put Robbie Whitworth first of all. It's my full name. And in classic Robbie style, it spans 2 lines. I mean, is it going to fit on 1 line? Is it going to be ridiculously small? Like font size 12? Jeez. Never give your kids a double-barreled surname, folks. It just makes life a bit of a headache. Let's do that. And then our text here, rather than Montserrat, we're going with, is it space mono? Is what we went for. Major League Dominating. This is our heading and subheading font. This is why we set this fonts up at the beginning, so we can be kind of consistent across our entire brand. Exactly. Robbie from LDD. I've always got so many different things. Robbie from MLH, Robbie from Hackathons UK, Robbie from Amazon Web Services. Now we've got Robbie from LDD, all sorts of things. MLDD, yeah, Major League Dominating. I think this actually looks okay. I can work with this. I'm not 100% sure about how I feel about using this font for Major League Dominating, but we'll let it slide for now. And then on our back page, we could go with like this dark, like a dark one, or we could go with something really strong, like a yellow, and it's kind of in your face. It depends what vibe you're going for, right? So for a business card, kind of strong and in your face is probably quite an important one because you want it to be, want it to catch people's attention. I think the red one, maybe. Oh, I think the red actually works better. Let's do that. Let's do blue background here, red background here, and kind of keep the yellow as a consistent theme between the two of them. So we said Robbie Whitworth at Major League Dominating. And then let's put my name on here again. So we'll do Robbie Whitworth. Set it back to that font we used, Poppins Bold. What was the font size we found that worked? Was it 12? Yeah. Oh, man. And instead of computer technician, say, what is my job title? I mean, I think really for Major League Dominating, I'm the founder of Major League Dominating, right? Founder and CEO. That is me. Instead of Montserrat Classic, we'll go for that space mono. Okay, and then we've got to put some contact details on here. Mobile. Well, I'm not actually going to put my personal mobile on here. But you know what I will do? It's +44, so that's United Kingdom. 700 900 123. So fun fact, lots of countries have kind of, what do you call them? like dummy numbers or like fake phone numbers. So in the US, I think it's like 555, right? US dummy phone number 555. Is that right? Wow, no, I take it back. Is that an actual real thing? Okay, so you got this reserved range basically for fictional use. Like you go to Wikipedia and I just want to see like a table and it's giving me this whole long thing. So you see what it says here: 555-0100 through 555-0199, and now specifically reserved for fictional use. So these phone numbers will never actually work. They're just good for TV and stuff like that. In the UK, UK fictional phone numbers, there's a big strong list of them on the Ofcom website. Ofcom is the Office of Communications. And we have, okay, I mean, look at all this, right? Certainly you've got geographic ones. So for all the different main cities, you know, they all start with this this area code. But if you go to mobile, everything in the range 07700 900 000 to 07700 900 999 is kind of a fake number. So if you watch British television and you see a mobile number on screen somewhere, like Line of Duty is one that shows mobile numbers all the time shows up mobile numbers all the time on TV. They always use, or almost always use, these kind of fake phone numbers in this range. And once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it, because 07700 900 is pretty distinctive. So you see this in kind of all the phone numbers on all the mobile numbers on television, and it's like, oh, it's the same number again, 07700 900. So that's why I'm going to go with 7700 900 123. And the 0, like in the UK numbers anyway, I'm not sure about around the world, the 0 can be replaced with the country code, so +44. My address, well, I'm the founder and CEO, so of course I deserve to live at Buckingham Palace. I think it's just London, SW1A1AA, United Kingdom. Is it going to fit? Oh, it's so close. I'm going to cheat and just make this a bit bigger. So the Queen lives at Buckingham Palace. I know the address and postcode because in one of my previous jobs, I was basically building like a postcode lookup tool, and there was a lot of work with addresses and stuff like that. And so I memorized a few useful postcodes. So SW1A1AA is the Queen's residence, Buckingham Palace. SW1A 0AA is, I want to say, 10 Downing Street, where the Prime Minister lives. And then I think 2AA is number 11 Downing Street. I'm going to look it up. Royal Mail postcode finder. I use this all the time. So you put in a postcode, it tells you the full address. SW1A 1AA, Buckingham Palace, London, SW1A 1AA. Or you could have SW1A 0AA is, wow, oh, that's the House of Commons, right? The Houses of Parliament. And then SW1A 2AA, I think, is a Prime Minister. There we go. 10 Downing Street. You learn something new every day. My email address. I don't have a real email address I'm going to put on here, but what I can do is put dominate@example.com. Now, on the theme of kind of dummy data, because I think we've talked about that a surprising amount today in terms of lorem ipsum and phone numbers and things like that. If you head to example.com and say, this is an example domain, and this is an actual website which is kind of owned and controlled by, I think, is it ICANN who control it? Oh, IANA rather. So IANA is the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. They manage a bunch of stuff with domains and things like that. And example.com and example.org, as it says here, are maintained for documentation purposes. These domains may be used as illustrative examples in documents without prior coordination with us. They're not available for registration or transfer. So when you're doing something and you want to have a domain for, as an example, example.com and example.org are available for exactly that purpose. They're kind of literally set by the Internet Authority, as it were, to say, look, it's just an example domain. You can use it. You don't need to ask for permission or anything like that. Same for example.org. So if you're ever coming up with, if you need a list of fake email addresses or something, rather than doing at gmail.com like everybody does, and you risk using someone's actual email address, you do at example.com, and then that will generate those fake email addresses for you, and you can guarantee that they're not going to work. Fun fact. In fact, if we use, there's a library called Faker. It's on GitHub. Yeah, so Faker is a PHP library that generates fake data. It's been archived. That's so sad. I used to use this in one of my previous jobs, and essentially, if you go down to, is there email here somewhere? Person, maybe person, email. Okay, yeah. So you've got email will just generate something that looks like an actual real email address. Which is kind of not what you want to do when you're generating fake data, because this could actually be someone who works at collins.com, right? But safe email is guaranteed to be at example.org or example.com. So yeah, use kind of test data and go out of your way to find it. The reason I know all about this is because in that job we did not use safe email. We just used email, and we were kind of sending out invoices and stuff. We got an email from some random guy, and he's like, "Why did I get this invoice from your company?" And we're like, "Oh, lol, that was our developers messed up and he sent out these fake invoices to an actual person somewhere in the world." So you definitely want to use that safe email ending in example.org or example.com when you can. Let's finish up here on our website. I think just example.com is the way to go here, or just to show that we own both of them, we'll go to example.org because we dominate. So we've got our business card front, business card back, founder and CEO. We've got a mobile number that doesn't exist. We've got our address as we live at Buckingham Palace, and then this website thing as well. What have we got going on here in the chat? Goes well with MLH theme colors. Yeah, it works surprisingly well, right? Like before you know it, I'm going to get an email from Swift saying, "Hey, we're converting to Major League Dominating." Very important sounding. That's what happens when you call yourself founder and CEO of a company that doesn't exist. Yeah, 1010 is a fake time for watch companies, although 1010 is like an actual real time, right? Yeah, there's kind of standards, or not so much standards, but there's conventions often about like what you can use for test data and example data. To download it within Canva, you can just click on this download button in the top right, and you can download it as a PDF is a good option. Possibly an SVG if you want, a PNG if you want it as an actual picture, but PDF is the way to go. I think you can download it on the free plan as well. I don't think you need the paid version for that. Imagine getting this as our postcards would be fun. Let's just imagine, that'd be so cool to get this included. I think I might have trouble saying, "Hey Ryan, can you print out like 30,000 of these postcards?" Should we see how much that would cost? Print postcards. So we're doing A6 quantities. I want way more than that. I think actually, I mean, I've got a bit of experience with this postcard printing. There's loads of companies that do it. Solo Press will do it. I've used them in the UK. They're pretty good. At the minute, MLH does all their stuff in the US, I think, which is kind of crazy when you think about the cost. They are, they're printing out all these postcards in the US and then shipping them globally. Postcard printing. Is that the same page? It's the same page I'm already on. Let's just go with, I think the cheapest one is going to be silk or gloss. Let's go with gloss. I actually ordered from these folks recently. I ordered the free sample book from Solo Press, and this is awesome because you can go through it, and it's got like every type of paper and stuff in it. So, for example, this is telling you we've got, oh God, hold on. Can you see? There's like 300 GSM silk, and you can go through, and it'll basically, you can feel what each of these bits of paper is like. And I can tell you that. Let me see if I can find the gloss one. 350 GSM gloss. Bond silks gloss at the beginning of this. Here we go. So I found the page on 350 GSM gloss, and yeah, it feels good. So we're going to print at A6. I'm doing double-sided printing, bundling. I do not need to bother with, I think. And quantities. I'm going to go into higher quantities. I don't know how many we need, but I'm going to guess like 30,312 pounds. I mean, that's really not bad at all, is it, in terms of value? 312.85 divided by 30,000 is 0.01. 1 pence per postcard at the bargain. At this kind of scale, it's just like cheapest chip to get these printed out. You know what I'll do as well at the end of this session is I'm going to stick these all on my GitHub profile, just as a point of pride. Like, here's something I built. If you ever want to go and get these printed yourself, then you can. So we've got our postcard. We've got our business card. Now, what about these lines? Didn't someone say something about these lines? Exactly. I can copy and paste the circuit design from the top to the bottom to make it match. Let's do that. Let's just delete those ones. Select these ones, and I think for hold shift, can I select 2? Yes. Copy and paste. Aha, this looks actually a little bit too detailed. I think we can just move this whole block up a bit. Looks good. Okay, so we've got our business card. We've got our postcard. What else can we build? We've probably got time to build one more thing. Let's go and see what else they recommend we build. We could do like banner art and things for Facebook and LinkedIn. Do a card. Resume is an option. Weekly schedule planner. T-shirt. Business presentation, website logo, business card, invoice, letterhead. Nah, not so exciting. No one sends letters anymore. Poster, flyer, infographic, brochure, newsletter, proposal, classroom decor kit, lesson plan, worksheet, certificate, bookmark, class schedule, Easter cards, YouTube, Mother's Day cards. A Mother's Day card from Major League Dominating. Actually, Mother's Day in the UK anyway was just a few days ago. Mother's Day varies around the world. In the UK, it was the 14th of March. In the US, it's 9th of May, apparently. Okay, let's go ahead and make. You know what? I'm going to cave. I'm going to make an invoice. I really want to make an invoice, and it's fun. Let's pick something that is interesting. I don't know what Major League Dominating would be invoicing for. Maybe just dominating services. Let's go with. I think this is a decent option. This looks so boring. I think. Let's go with that. What's an invoice? That's a good question. So an invoice is a little bit like a receipt. So when you go to the shop and you buy something, you buy some clothes, maybe you get a receipt, which is a breakdown of everything you bought and how much it cost. An invoice is kind of the same thing, except usually an invoice is issued in advance. So invoices are very common in business-to-business transactions. So it's usually like an A4 document or something like that. And it's like a breakdown of what the customer has agreed to buy and how much it is and what the total is. I wonder if I can find an example of my invoice that I can share. And I'm actually going to do that on another screen just while I dig deep into my personal finances and maybe don't show all of that on the screen. Exactly. A bill of material, kind of like proposing a project. Yeah, so it's kind of one stage after proposal, right? So with proposal, you're saying, here's what we could do and here's the quote for it. Invoice is like, by the time you send an invoice, it's like they've already agreed to pay that. It's basically a request for payment, or almost a demand for payment. I'm just trying to find an invoice that I can show on stream that's not going to cause problems. Vast majority of my invoices are for MLH. Oh, even better, actually. Rather than me showing an invoice going out, I can just show you a bill I received, which is basically an invoice. Maybe this one. You know what? Let's just Google example invoice. That's going to be easier in the images, right? Point is, it's kind of invoices in the UK and probably globally as well have like quite strict requirements about them. Invoice contents of UK. Right, here's a list of what invoices need to have. A unique identification number, so an invoice number, your company name and contact info, company name and address of the customer, description of what you're charging for, the supply date, the date of the invoice, the amount being charged, VATs, that's sales tax and stuff like that. So you'll usually see like an invoice number is a unique number for this document, invoice date, payment due. So 30-day payment terms are pretty common. So this is something that took me a while to get my head around. With business to business, you usually don't get payment immediately. You send an invoice and then they pay it within 30 days because it needs to go through a bunch of approval processes and stuff within that company. And you've got the customer, so we were billing to Bench Accounting. There's information about what it actually is. Here's what the item is, quantity, unit cost, total amount. Looks like there's some tax on here. And then we've got our own address and email address and things. I've lost track of our invoice. Was it this one? Yeah, so we're going to go with this. We'll hit, oh, nice. This is 21 by 29.7, which is A4 size, conveniently 4 times the size of A6. So if I wanted to print an invoice onto a postcard, I could. Now, we don't want to go with Muzzy Hill Bespoke Clothing. We're going to instead go with, let's change our font here to Poppins Bold. So this is me, major be dominating. I'm going to have to decrease this font size a lot. 24. 19. Okay. Bespoke clothing. What does Major League do? Just bespoke dominating. For contact info, we've gone for, forgotten, what did we put on here? Dominate at example.com. And just example.com, dominate example.com and dominate example.com. I'm going to set this font to our body font, Open Sans. All through here, I'm going to set the body font to Open Sans as well. Can I not do that with one thing? Oh, man. Invoice number, we can keep the same. We'll keep the date the same, whatever. Shipping address. In fact, I think we can keep almost all the same. Although they're using email.com. I'm going to change that to example.com just to make sure we don't email an actual person. Custom tuxedo, belt, cufflinks. All right, these are all things that apparently Major League Dominating does. Instead of railway, we're going to go with Open Sans. And having to do this for every single element on here is a bit of a pain, but you do what you gotta do. Gotta keep the people happy by doing mind-numbing tasks on stream. No joke, I actually love doing stuff on stream like this. Like I said, it's early in the morning. It's now 7:50. I got a stand-up call with work at 9 o'clock, so we're making slow but steady progress changing the font on these. And let's be real, there is almost definitely a better way to do this. Like, I reckon you can probably set the font on the design level, but you and I are learning Canva at the same time. I've only used it a few times before, and I've never built an entire company branding using it. Okay, so we've changed the font. Now we've got to do some stuff with this logo, obviously. Let's delete that, and we're going to have to get rid of the black, I think, but we can deal with that in a second. How can I insert another design? Is that something I can do? So templates is just like these template uploads. It's kind of close. You can see this is where I've used Canva before for the Derhack logo. Something with local hack day learn. This is like 2 years ago, I think. Photos, elements. Folders. All your designs. Aha. Here is our logo. I don't want to do either of those. I want to insert it as like an embedded thing. Tell you what, let me add it as a new page, and then I can just copy this whole thing and put it up here. Oh, hold on. Select all of that and group it, copy it, paste it up here, shrink this way down, put it on like that, and then instead of white, black, we're going to have to go with, I think, a white background. In fact, let's just delete the background. There we go. MLD, Major League Dominating. And then we need some on-brand colors. So we're going to grab this and make it a... Where is it? It's here. Let's make that border. Let's do blue. Same for this one. We'll do a nice blue. Now, the first ever invoice I designed, I used like red as a theme everywhere. And I thought it looked pretty good. And then the person I sent it to politely pointed out that actually, if you send an invoice and it's red, that usually means like the invoice is overdue. It's very late invoice, so you want to avoid red. Blue is pretty common, or just black and white if you're boring. Instead of custom tuxedo, let's just say domination services. Instead of custom belt, we're going to go for say branding services. Instead of custom cufflinks, we'll go for streaming services. We'll put capital B on branding there. Quantity of 111. Now, these are not quite aligned. Do you see that? I don't know how visible that is on stream, but it's certainly bugging me a little bit. Let me grab that and just... I want these all to align like that, I think. I feel like there's probably a better way to do this within Canva. I feel like I've said that lots of times today. Okay, that looks a bit more aligned, I think. Yep, we'll roll with that for now. 500, 300, 400, total $1,200. I actually always quite like to put the currency instead, just to make it really clear. I have no idea what this phone number is. 04. What country code is that? Country dialing code list. Can't type at all. So this is a big 44, right? So Great Britain. What's GG? Oh, Guernsey, Isle of Man, and JE is so Jersey. Oh, that's Jersey, and this is Guernsey. 45 is Denmark, for example. So +1 is kind of North America and its territories. We were looking for what? 04 is 0. I think it's just a 4 at the beginning. Maybe it doesn't exist. Maybe it's a dummy one that they used. I think that might be the case. Search for 04. There's 56 matches. Maybe not. I don't think 04 exists as a real country dialing code. Okay, well, good on the designer of this for using a fake country code at the beginning here. Date issued, invoice number, I think we can keep. Shipping address, we'll keep the same. Actually, no, we've got to get some fun in here. The shipping address is, of course, going to be to 10 Downing Street, which is where the Prime Minister lives here in the United Kingdom. London, SW1A, 2AA, wasn't it? United Kingdom. Can an invoice be more than one page? Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you've got lots of line items, spilling onto 2 pages is totally fine. You know, by convention, these are usually like an A4 document, so they break into multiple pages. But increasingly so, like no one actually sends paper invoices anymore, so you sometimes see them like more web page format and size. Spilling onto multiple pages is totally okay. You would usually just repeat the design. You don't need to repeat all of this stuff at the top, right? If you do spill onto multiple pages, make sure you put like a page 1 of 1 thing at the bottom. Yeah, so we can actually get rid of that page. We don't need that. Set that back to, oops, that is not what I wanted. That is full screen. Wow. Let's put this back to fit. This logo looks so unprofessional. Oh, man. So what have we made today so far? We've made our postcard. We haven't given this a name, actually. This is our business card. So it's just a business card. We'll put Robbie. So it's clear that it's Robbie's business card. This is our invoice design. We've kind of built out 3 things there. Let's go ahead and download them, put them on GitHub, and submit them to the local Hack Day Share challenge. Also, the thing that I love is it gives this little preview here, right? If I go to business card, print business cards, it gives me a little preview, and then is this going to give me a preview? Wow, these actually look great. So I can definitely include these pictures as well in the GitHub repository. So let's start with the invoice design. We'll hit download. We'll download it. Preparing the design. Nice. I mean, this picture looks so good, you know. Hit save file, and I need to go and put this in a decent location. So within my dev folder, I'll make a new folder. I'll call it Major League Dominating Brand. Save the invoice design. I also want to grab this picture. Can I not get that picture easily? All right. When a website doesn't let you get the picture, you've got 2 options. You can either screenshot it, which is a bit rubbish for everybody, or you could do a right-click, inspect element. And if they don't let you select the picture, it's probably because it's like a background image somewhere. Ooh, no, I take that all back. What are they doing? There's some crazy stuff going on. Because this is like literally embedded inline as an element. It's not a picture, which is, I assumed it would be an image rendered server side, but it's not. So if I go to print letterheads, what about this? Is this the same? I think it is. Well, I take back everything I just said about doing it, doing it with the inspect element. We're just going to have to screenshot it. Okay. Oh no, where's it gone? Where's the picture gone? I want the advert back. Oh man, I guess if I go back, it's not gonna. Bummer. Let's reload the page, see if it prompts us with the advert again. Let's have that open. We'll click on download as a PDF. This time. Oh, I'm so sad that that's gone. I mean, we can grab it from the side. It just doesn't look as good. I guess if I zoom the page in, this is probably the closest I'm going to get to be able to getting a decent picture. I mean, that's possible, right? It's not perfect, but shoot. 200, 240, is that going to fit? Okay, now I'm going to get back at the Canva devs by getting a bit hacky here and deleting elements. So this whole block about subtitle and stuff, just delete that. Oh, I broke it. Oh, man. Maybe I can... I'm trying to think of ways we could trigger it to appear again. Make a whole new letterhead, perhaps, or just duplicate it. You know what we can do? Let's use this template, right? We're going to get really creative with this. We'll hit the download button. Just download. Hopefully it's going to bring it up again. No, they've learned I don't want the adverts. This is so bad. Okay, let's download the PDFs anyway, and we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. I'll hit download here. This time I'm hoping it's going to give us the option. Please show us that. There we go. Okay, so hit save file for the business card, Robbie. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to screenshot. But before I screenshot, I'm seeing rounded corners here. I think I can get away with doing a little bit of inspect element on this. So we've got, where's the container? This looks like our container, so this is presumably the one with the rounded corners. No, is it one level down? I'm looking for like border radius. Here it is. Border radius is set. Yes, if I turn that off, now I've got the sharp edges, and I can comfortably grab a screenshot. So I'm going to hit, we'll do we'll do Command Shift 4 on a Mac, and then I'm going to be able to just highlight this. Okay, I'll save that to my desktop. Let's get the postcards, download those. Look at this quote from Steve Jobs. The people who think they're crazy enough to save the world are the ones who do. Nice. Save that, and we'll have to get rid of the border radius on this as well. Find out which one that was. This one. This one. Set that border radius off. Grab a screenshot with Command Shift 4. Okay, I'm still so sad about the invoice. Like, where's my my invoice one gone? You know. Download. We'll try once more. I don't think it's going to show up. It's not. All right. So we're on. This one doesn't have it either. I think we're going to have to grab it from the side. Go to print letterheads. And then I can, let's get a bit crazy with this. Let's increase my zoom size. I would love to screenshot this, but there's some extra stuff that I don't need. Let's bring this up, DevTools. Let's do a separate window so I can put this on the left half, and then figure out what this subtitle thing is. So earlier I deleted the whole subtitle block. And it just nuked the entire display. So if I just put a display none, that already looks better. There we go. I think we can actually just get away with screenshotting that. I just want to get rid of the border radius on the image. Is it this one? Yeah, border radius 4. So if I turn that off, brilliant. So let's do Command Shift 4, grab a screenshot of this. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. We've got our pictures, and this is a good time for us to do a tiny bit of development and get into our terminal. Do I have a terminal open here? I don't think I do. Let me go ahead and open a new terminal. You can see this is still here from Major League Forecasting, what we were last doing. We'll go to Major League Dominating brand. In LS, I've got my business card, my invoice design, and my postcard. I want to copy those screenshots in. I think the easiest way is actually to just go open dot, and that will open a Finder window in this folder. And then I can just grab from screenshots this one, this one, this one, and just move them in here. And obviously we'll give them more sensible names. So the first one is our business cards. Robbie, how should we describe them? In situ, in location. This one is the LDD postcard, in situ. And this one is the invoice design, in situ. Okay, now we want to get these on GitHub, so of course I'm going to do this the amazing way and go to GitHub, and we'll create a repository. And I'm wary that we've actually already made the folder, so instead of cloning it locally, we're going to have to set the remote, but that's fine. So make a new repository. We'll call it Major League Dominating brand for the fictional Major League Dominating Company, created as part of MLH Local Hack Day Share 2021. Public, we'll add a read. Do you want to read me? We do not want to read me for now. The license, go for I'm going to whack MIT on it. You can't stop me. Create repository. Okay. And now we're starting to get a bit tricky because I've got this weird pull. I've got the files in both locations. So let's copy this one. Let's do a git init. So we'll initialize this as a git repo. Then a git status is showing us that we've got these files untracked. So I'm going to do a git add dot, which is now tracking them all ready for commit. We'll do a git commit -m add designs. Okay, now I've got nowhere to push because there's nothing to push to. Also, it's using the master. Of course, we use main these days. So I'm going to do a git branch -m to move or rename the branch master to main. Now on the main branch. But of course, if I do a git push, it's going to say but I got nowhere to push to, no configured push destination. So we need to add this remote. So we'll go git remote add origin. Not paste that in. That is completely not what I wanted to paste. I don't remember copying that. I don't know what happened there. Git remote add origin. Copy that. Paste it in. Okay. Now I still can't quite do a git push. It's not set. So if I do git push -- set upstream origin main. So the first time we do this, we basically need to link our local branch main to track the remote branch main. So that's what set upstream does. We've pushed and it's saying, it's complaining because we've already, there's already files up there. So we actually need to do a pull first of all to pull down the license. Could not read from remote repository. That is a weird one. Try that one again. Okay. I think my internet just died for a second. Git pull remote branch. Oh, so we got the same problem, right? So our branch still doesn't track it. So we'll do git branch -- set upstream to equals origin / main. And the reason you would you'd much rather do a git clone, right? Because then you don't have to configure all these branches. You actually see here, I've got one to pull down, which is the initial commit with the license, and one to push up, which is my commit with the designs. So at least it's now tracking. It says I have 1 and 1 different commits each. So if I do a git pull, and a git push is also not going to work, is it? Git pull, so the unrelated histories. That is an interesting one. What can we do about that? Let's branch off. So git branch feature. Let's just say git branch fix git checkout fix. For this branch, we can do git and then let's delete my local branch main. Branch -d main. Delete main, even though this is getting so complicated. Why did I do it like this? I could upload it with the GitHub UI, right? But I want to get it right. I want to do it. I don't want to be beaten basically by the terminal. Main is not fully merged. If I do a git log, that's our only commit. It's on the fix branch, and I'm just going to hang on to this commit hash because even after you delete a branch, the commits still exist. So we git branch -d main. Okay. Yes, I can upload it using the user interface on GitHub, but that is cheating. Run our fixed branch. Then let's do a git fetched all. Git checkout main. Okay, so now I can do a git pull. Git status here is I've just got the license. So now we're starting to get somewhere. Now I can basically do a pull request with my fix command. Rather than a pull request, we're actually just going to straight up merge it in. So git merge fix. Refusing to merge unrelated histories. Okay, I've got a better idea. If we do git checkout fix and a git log, here's our commits. We're going to cherry pick this commit. What cherry pick will do is basically apply that commit again. So if we do a git cherry pick that commit hash, the previous cherry pick is now empty. Oh, it's because I'm on already on git fix. Man, let's do a git checkout main, then a git cherry pick. Just drag and drop. I will not be beaten. Look at that. We've cherry picked the commit. It's added the files again. We do an ls. They're now all in the same place. I'm going to do a git log. So we've got our initial commit followed by add designs. I'm going to git push. Perfect. Let me check these are actually appearing here. They are. That means I can now delete the fix branch. Beautiful. Done. So git branch has just got main. Git status now shows that we're all up to date. We did it. How long did that take? Probably a good 5 minutes at least. But we got there. We learned something new in the process. We also need a README file. Absolutely important. So let's put it in. We'll go Major League Dominating. Brand for the fictional Major League Dominating company created as part of MLH Local Hack Day Share 2021. We can actually include those pictures as well. So let me open this up in a new window. Put that on the right. And we can include links to them. So we can go business card. Hang on, we've got the logo. Totally missed one. Come on, folks. You're supposed to be watching along and keeping me accountable here. Totally missed our logo. I knew something was missing. I just had this feeling deep down. All your designs, logo. So let's download this as I don't want a PNG. Let's grab it as a PDF. We'll save that file in here. I'd also like the logo in some kind of picture format, but there's no kind of printing option really, is there? Because it's what you print a logo onto. So instead, we'll just download it as a PNG. Now let's do a size multiplier of 3. Get it nice and high, and a transparent background. Hit download. Save file. Okay, so I'm thinking of actually doing 2 different commits here. One is where I'm going to go add the logo, git commit -m add logo. And now I'm thinking we've got enough files that we need to kind of reorder, move our stuff around. Also, why is this one card and this one cards? That's definitely not good. Business cards. And we'll call this, hold on, move business cards to business cards, and then I'm just going to get rid of this. I mean, again, you could do this in the GUI, but I'm not going to be beaten. I'm doing it in the terminal because it's hardcore. Okay. We've got business card and business cards. I'll do another commit, git commit, rename business cards to card. I didn't add anything. Git add dot. And then I'll do the commit again. Then what else are we doing? I'm going to move them. So I'm going to make a directory business card Robbie, and then move business card Robbie. I could definitely, if I do a star, do you reckon that moves the directory? Right, I'm caving. I'm doing this in the I'm doing this here because it's no wait, that worked. I don't know what the issue was here. Invalid argument. Okay, let's do it here. Make directory invoice design, and then move invoice design everything into the invoice design directory. Then make a directory LDD postcard. Move LDD postcard star to LDD postcard directory, and then also make the main logo, and move everything that's main logo into main logo. Okay, so now I do an ls. I've got these 4 directories, and this is what I expect to see, right? So git status, it's like, oh, everything changed. It's fine. We'll just go git add, git status. Renamed a bunch of stuff, git commit -m, moved designs into individual folders. I 3 commits behind. We'll push all those changes up. Do a reload here. This looks better. Now we were writing up our README file. So the business card, I will include the picture. So there's a kind of a way to, wow, that's a big picture. There's a way to get like a relative path of the README. So I can just go, everything after main is what I need. I think a certain image is marked down. I think it's exclamation mark, business card, in situ. So that's like a description. And then that's the actual path to the image. Okay, this is not how we do it. Mark down image. Isn't this exactly what I did? Exclamation mark, and then alt text, and then the URL. Let's just do image src equals. I mean, this is definitely not going to work. This just does not feel right at all. Wait, what? I said it's definitely not going to work, and then it worked. All right, no complaints from me. That's our business card. GitHub's clearly doing some wacky stuff to make this route work, but again, no complaints from me. So we've got the business card. What else did we have? We've got our main logo. Let's go main logo. So we got image source equals. This is so, oh man, I'm so confused by this image stuff, but GitHub is doing some magic, so we're just going to roll with it. It's like that. You ever seen Madagascar and the penguins in it are just like smile and wave, boys? Smile and wave. That's what we're doing. Local dominate. Day dominate. Postcard. So that's image source equals this one. That. And then the other thing we had was the invoice design, right? Yeah. Invoice design, image source equals invoice design in situ. Okie dokie. How's this looking? Business card, main logo. I mean, it's a bit big, but you know what? Let's actually knock a width on these. We can say width equals, I'm thinking 400 is probably a good number. Yeah, I think 400 is good the whole way through. Maybe a bit bigger for some of the other ones. Nah, let's leave it at 400 on all of them. A fun fact, the reason you actually have a width and height attribute for image tags rather than just doing it in CSS is because if you think back like years and years and years and years ago when the web was very new and CSS was kind of not really a thing, the way images and things worked is because web pages would take so long to load and images are pretty chunky files, like this one's 951 kilobytes and internet connections were slow. By predefining the width and the height here in the image tag, the browser knows what size the image is going to be. So when it's rendering the page and it's kind of doing the flow of the elements, it knows what size space to leave for that picture. But in this case, we're just using it to define the width. I hope you learned something there. This is pretty close to what I want, but I'm actually going to put some lines in here. Do it like that, like that. And we also need alt tags because we also care about people who use screen readers. Alt equals business card, Robbie in situ. Alt equals main logo. Alt equals local dominate day. Dominate postcard in situ. This one is alt equals invoice design in situ. Okay, got a business card, main logo. Ooh, I broke something here. Missed a closing quote. Nice, and invoice design. boom, we can leave that as create readme, or let's commit to main. And this is starting to look really good. I'm so pleased with it. But actually, we need to add some links here as well for the PDFs, which I totally forgot about. So let's just put a PDF, a link. What should we just call it? PDF, link to PDF, view PDF. Let's say that. So we'll go ahref equals. So on the business card, so I need the root for this business card here. Okay, and then we'll put the same up for the main logo as a PDF. Same for LDD, dominate, or LDDD as we call it. I've got ahref equals that. Then the invoice design is the last one. Perfect. Hit preview changes, and so we've got a link to the PDF. And if I actually open that in a new tab, that is the PDF. Perfect. Same for main logo, because we should check all these links. Yep. And the local day dominate postcard. Yep. And the invoice design. Beautiful. Okay, and rather than update README, we'll say add PDF links to README, commit to main, commit changes. I think we are now in a very strong position to actually go ahead and submit this to the local Hackday Share week-long challenge dev post. Yes, so we've got an introduction, we've got a description of what it is, a link to the PDF, a picture of it in situ, same for the main logo, same for the postcard, same for the invoice design. These actually look so good. I'm pretty pleased with them. Okay, well, now we've got to find the URL to actually submit these to. I have the banner here somewhere in StreamYard. There it is. So the banner across the bottom of the screen has just changed, told us where we need to go, which is to hackp.ac/LHD share week-long dev post. Okay, I'm going to open this in personal container. I'm going to create a project for it because I've already submitted one. Okay, firstly, let me make sure this is actually the right dev post. I made that mistake once already. We've got create a brand concept. That's us. Nice. So they recommended imagine a fictional company, create a branding concept for it. Detail as simple as you like. Could do logos, flyers, website mock-up, social posts. So we've done a logo, we've done a postcard, it's basically a flyer, we've done an invoice design and business cards as well. So our project name is Major League Dominating, elevator pitch, brand designs for Major League Dominating. We need a thumbnail. What can we use for a thumbnail? I mean, you could just use the logo, but that's not very exciting. That we can get rid of. Invoice business card. I actually really like this postcard. I think this is the one I'm going to go with. I just need to make my browser roughly kind of 3x2-ish so I can take a screenshot. That feels like about 3x2. Let me save that to desktop, go to dev post, edit thumbnail, and then is it my most recent screenshot? This one. Nice. Hit save and continue. Project story, inspiration. Inspired by Major League Banking and Major League Forecasting, Major League Dominating is going to take over the world. Let's get some links in here to my other dev post submissions. Portfolio, So we got Major League Banking, copy that link location. And it's Markdown, so we can just do a link like this. And then Major League Forecasting, we can copy that link location. I was actually chatting to a friend recently about how like Markdown is simultaneously, it's clearly like the best and only legitimate way of writing documents. Everything else is too much headache, too many formatting problems. Markdown is great. Specifically, GitHub flavored Markdown is great because it enables you to just have consistent formatting throughout. Good question here. Can you get the Canva design link for the postcard? Yes, I will put them on GitHub in just a second. That's a good point. What it does includes designs for, we've got a business card, logo, invoice, and postcard. How we built it. Canva. Challenges we ran into. Not knowing how to use Canva. Accomplishments that we're proud of. Building out Major League Dominating. What we learned, how to use Canva and Git, because we certainly had some trouble with Git on command line, didn't we? What selects for Major League Dominating? Domination. Built with, it's straight up just Canva. Okay, so we need our link to the GitHub repo, which is this one. Our image gallery. We can actually just grab those images, I think. From dev, Major League brand. So we've got this one. And then we've also got, go up a level, invoice design. We've also got the logo, the postcard, and then the logo. Main logo. I'm just watching the clock a bit here as well, but I think we're still okay. Save and continue. The share challenge is for the brand one. Create a brand concept, save and continue. Accept the terms, submit project. Boom, look at this. Oh, this looks so fire. This looks so good. I'm so pleased with this. This one's a bit weird. This is Devpost doing stuff in the background, but I'm not going to stress about it. These actually look really good. Okay, and I was going to add the Canva links quickly into the README as well. Can I get like a publicly shareable link somehow? Share a link to user's template, copy link. So that's the postcard. So the postcard is this one. Template, external link, Canva. How does this look? Yeah, that's going to be good. And we'll do that for all of them. So for the postcard, business card, share a link to user's template, copy link. So business card is this one. Use as template, external link to Canva. Got the invoice design. Share a link to user's template, copy link. Ahref equals that. User template. This feels a little bit repetitive. What's the last one? Just the logo. Just template, copy link. So it goes here. Ahref equals, oops. That user's template. External link to Canva. Okay, preview changes. Added that one, added that one, added that one, added that one. Add Canva template links to README, commit to main branch, and boom. I think we now have everything you need if you want to fork this and do your own stuff. I'm going to put this link in the chat for those of you who would like it for the GitHub repository. Apart from that, I think that brings us to a close, and we've only run over by 1 minute, which is pretty good for me. We submitted onto the local Hack Day Share week-long challenge dev post, and I'm so pleased that we have, because these look so good. And it's been an absolute blast today, I've got to be honest, working alongside you folks to build out the Major League dominating brand. Loads and loads of fun. So thank you so much for joining me. This is actually my last live stream for local Hack Day Share. I know, sad times. If you have not checked in yet, please make sure you do go ahead and check in. The link is this one. Check in at hackpack/hack with Robbie. You will not see me for the rest of local Hack Day Share probably, but you will see me at future live streams for MLH. I'm going to run definitely more of these and just kind of do more of them where we turn up, we wing it, and we just do random stuff. And it's been my pleasure to be your host for the past few hours and indeed the past few days. Thank you so much for watching along. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.